Take 2 of this video. Okay, my dog was barking at the back. Okay, so long story short, I went to the library and picked up Dear Bully. I think most people know what this is about, so I won't go into too much detail. I want to start it soon, but we'll see. So that's that. I'm going to the library anyway tomorrow. I downloaded the books that I wanted to on my Kindle by going to the library. I won't go into that. But today I'm here to talk to you about children and parents who sort of don't like their children to read, or they stop them, or because I'm going to tell you an experience I had today. And usually I can be a little bit judgmental when it comes to these things, because I just think everyone, every child, every person, no matter what age, deserves the right to choose to read. Now, I do understand that growing up, because when I grew up, I didn't own my own books because my parents could not afford to buy them for us. It was just as simple as that. Maybe on a birthday we might get 1 or 2, but we primarily use the library. So I understand that some people cannot afford them, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. But when you are not allowing a child, a teenager, a preteen, or a young adult to have the freedom to read whatever they want to read, to me that just really irritates me. And now, before anyone says anything, I do agree that there is to be some parental control over some things. Obviously you don't want your 8-year-old reading like a raunchy, sex, explicit, erotic novel, of course, or something like that. But when they get to at the age of like 12 to 15, I think that there is some leeway about what topics teenagers can read. Now, anyway, back to this, more so about children. The situation that happened today was me and my partner went to the library, the bookshop. I didn't buy anything, but we went to the bookshop to have a look around. And there was this kid looking and leafing for a book, and he was really excited about it. Like, really, I want to get this book. And from what I could tell, they were there to buy things. The mother said you can choose 1 book. So, he was looking at some books, and then she said, I want you to find something else because this one has words that are going to be too hard for you to understand. And, okay, I think he was about, I'm going to say 12-ish. I could be wrong. He could be younger or older, but he looked about 12. Now, I understand that some people have, some 12-year-olds like to read juvenile fiction, middle grade fiction, YA fiction, adult fiction, but it's just the way that she said it. It was like, well, you might as well just dumb it down and get a fucking picture book for the kid because this is how you're treating him. So that was enough. One thing that really bugged me, I felt like saying, well, look, if the kid's interested in actually reading this book, like, not congratulate him, but show emotion that you're glad that they're choosing something that could help them, I guess, or teach them something, or make them feel something that some other medium can't. Don't say things like that. Anyway, and I also felt like saying, look, if it was my kid, I would be saying, okay, I would like to read the book as well. Depends what it is. But if it's something that I think that they can read and not, but I would like them to ask questions. I would like my kids to come up to me and say, look, Mum, I really don't understand what this word means. Can you tell me what it means? If they're, it'd be a bit different if they're not enjoying the book. But if they're enjoying the book and they're asking me these questions, I would so much prefer them to do that because they're learning. You don't learn from people, from parents, or from anyone telling you that you can't do something. That's not true. You can do something. There is always a way around doing something, and it just really bugged me. So I breathed it in, it's not my kid, I understand. They went to the YA section, children's section, and so she was picking books off the shelf and saying, this is not really, it's got too many words, or, I might be wrong, this kid could be like, he might not be able to read very well, but still the point is that it just bugged me. And then he picked out a book and said, yep, I'd like this one. She goes, okay. And she goes, hasn't your friend got this book? Hasn't your friend got this book? And so he's like, yes he does, but he never lets me use them, he never lets me read them. Which, some kids are like that, they don't really want anyone touching their stuff. I didn't want anyone touching my stuff either. But then she had the right to say, in a very condescending manner that made me almost want to fucking punch her, she said, well, if you can't have it, then why don't you get him to read it to you? Now, it wasn't like, okay, maybe you could borrow it, or maybe you guys can read it together. It was, if he's got it, then maybe he can actually read it to you, so I don't have to freaking buy it for you, so I don't have to explain to you what's happening in the book, so I don't have to have any role whatsoever in your reading life. And it just really, it just bugs me so much that parents can be like this. Same thing happened a week or so ago. This youngish around the same age, this kid was walking around and they were almost going to go into the library, and the kid goes, oh, can I go to the library, Mum? I would like to get some books to read. And she flat out said no. And then she said, you have to pay for these books. And I was like, what the fuck? You are lying to your child, and you are denying him everything. Like, to me, saying that to a kid who wants to read, come on. How many young boys in this day and age where there's computers and freaking games and fucking Xboxes and shit like that, it's very rare. I have not really come across a kid that age who actually wants to read compared to, gaming and stuff like that. And that was just like, and then to rub the salt in the wound and tell him that he had to pay for the freaking books. You don't even have to freaking pay for a fucking library card. You might have to go inside the library. Oh wow, that's such a big deal. And I know that some people just, I can sometimes take these things out of context, and, I don't have kids, so I don't know, but I was a kid not too long ago, and if someone was saying this shit to me, I'll be like, you know what, Mom, you can go and jump on a chair, because, I have the right to do this. I have, he could go into the freaking library and borrow a picture book. You know what I mean? Like, it's a picture book. If that's what she's worried about. But, and yet, this is another thing too, like, they don't want to spend the money on buying these books or taking them to places where they can experience these kind of things, yet they're quite happy to, buy these fashionable clothes that look like, hookers on the street. This one time in McDonald's, there was this woman who dressed her child in a freaking mesh dress. No freaking joke. She was in a mesh dress with, like, underwear underneath. That's all. And these stupid freaking shoes, like, like these sort of high-heeled shoes for kids. I was like, oh my god. And my friend just said something really bad. But I thought, you know what is society coming to? You can deny a kid the fucking right to read, but you can dress them up like a hooker and put them out on the streets. It's just, and it's not all parents, it's not, and I hope that when people watch this, they don't think I'm just singling out certain parents. It's just the experience that I've had, and this is not the first time that people have been like this, and not just around my town, but it just baffles me, like, oh, how can you, honestly, how can you, it's just, I don't know. So what do you guys think? Have you had any experiences like this? What are your opinions on these kinds of things? I mean, I know like censorship and things like that, but I think people are taking it to a whole new level when they say that they cannot read or they're dumb. They're too dumb to read, pretty much. Which, you know, without too much words and the way that she was saying it, that mother was pretty much telling her kid that, you know, don't bother because it's too hard for you. And what kind of parent, like, what kind of parent are you if you're telling your kids that things like that are too hard? You're going to grow up thinking, okay, well, if I can't read a book, maybe I'm too dumb to do something, or it's just not the right mindset. It's just not. It's not on. It's not on. I can tell you right now, if I had kids like that, I'd be like, hey, bitches, I got you like a pile of books from the library today. I want you to sit down and read instead of playing your Xbox. I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. So, enough ranting. I hope I haven't bored you guys, but I'm just so kill people sometimes, but I can't, so anyway. Okay guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.